25 of Powerful.tv Big Fight Weekly. Before we get started, Chris, a big thank you to Evade Escape for the music in the intro there. As always, we appreciate it. Evade Escape are also working on some new stuff, and they will be on tour soon. So, yeah, big thanks to the guys for letting us use that track. Now, it's not as long a show as normal this week, but we have got quite a lot to talk about, haven't we, Chris?
Yeah, we've got boxing and UFC stuff to cover as well. We've got bits and bobs we can throw in as well, and obviously viewers' comments. So throw your comments in, and we'll read them along the way.
Absolutely. So next week, if it is that we haven't got through all the comments this week because of time constraints, we will keep them back and put them in next week. We will do our best, won't we, Chris? We always endeavour to get the viewer comments in. But the first bit of business this week is coming up this weekend. The man, the legend, Manny Pacquiao returns after 2 years to face Dennis Ugas this week in a world title bout. It was meant to be Errol Spence. He can't make the fight. But your Dennis Ugas, who took Pacquiao's belts because they obviously they couldn't defend because of COVID and all that. So Ugas ended up with the belts. And what a night this could be. Pacquiao 42 now, Chris. But heavy favourite for this one against your Dennis Ugas, who was Cuban, I believe. Cuban.
Going back to Errol Spence, for his injury, and Stuart's frozen. Going back to his injury, though, to everybody who's listening, Stuart's frozen, so he'll get him back when he comes back. But Errol Spence's injury was quite bad. I remember Michael Bisping had the same injury in UFC, and obviously he's lost the sight of his eye. Actually, lost his eye now. But he said on Twitter to Errol Spence, don't rush back and take your time. Michael Bisping just come out and said, and if you read his book as well, Michael Bisping's book, he describes the injury, really well, and says about he rushed it back and it came to a point where his eye physically, well, not physically, but he stopped seeing in that one eye. So he's told Errol Spence to take his time and don't rush it, which I think is important for people. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, boxing's your life, but I think your eyesight's important. So hopefully Errol Spence can come back and be a boxer, but first and foremost his health and his eyesight and stuff, that's important. So hopefully we can get him back and he can take care of himself. I'll go through some comments. Lewis Young, how you doing, mate? Yeah, hi, Stu and Chris Hume. How you doing, Lewis? Big man Rommel, how you doing, Paul? How's it going over there in the Philippines, mates? Well, seeing as we've lost Stuart, has anyone got any questions they want to fire away as we're watching? And I'll read them out as we wait for Stuart, because there's no point in me going into Manny Pacquiao this fight straight away without him. He's got more, obviously, the know of boxing than I have. I'm more of your MMA guy. I don't know really what much I could bring up. So how's everyone's day been? How's everyone's sort of morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world? I'll give you a big topsy and I'll stop this for a minute. We have Stuart is, I don't know where Stuart's gone. I think he's run off. We are doing this obviously not a longer show today. We've got other things going on, and Stuart's actually on his dinner break in work. So there he is, coming back now. I'll throw him back in.
Hello.
How are you doing, mate?
One sec, Chris.
No, it's fine. Live TV, people. Live TV. Whenever you're ready, mate, just say. Oh, and he's gone. Well, I'm gonna jump over to a show that I do on the weekend with my good friend Albert Barlow. Just throw your YouTube. We do this every 2 weeks. I'm gonna throw this in now while we wait for Stuart. It's called The Art of Partying. This is what we're doing this weekend. If anyone's a gamer or anything like that, this is what we're doing. We're streaming Dead by Daylight game on Saturday. So there's YouTube links here at the bottom of the screen if you're interested in watching people play games and whatnot. come along and watch a stream. Like I say, the link's there if you guys want to jump on watch us on Saturday. I think it will be around about 8 o'clock UK time. So you'll catch me there. And Stuart's back.
Hello.
Hi, mate.
Boy, mate.
It's fine. Here we go. Rom's jumping in here. Ugas may not be a known name, but for me, it's more of a name.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Chris.
No, it's fine. Don't worry, mate. It's fine.
I'm trying it on the phone. I'm in work. I apologise.
It's fine.
What have you said about Pacquiao so I don't go over it again?
I didn't. I just we're talking about Errol Spence's injury and saying about Michael Bisping's reached out to him and said, like, don't rush it, because obviously Michael Bisping, sorry, I'm going to repeat myself a bit here, but Michael Bisping has already said to him, like, he rushed his injury with his eye and lost his eye because of being, too eager to get back in the octagon. So, but he's told Errol Spence to, take his time, because, at the end of the day, your health is important, your eyesight's important. So, don't be going and rushing back, to defend your titles and what have you, to take his time.
Ron being, from Philippines, and they love Pacquiao. He's a god over there. Ugas may not be a known name, but for me, he is more dangerous because of the short notice and prep time. He ain't got nothing to lose, but Manny is the man. Yeah, no, I think Manny, I've got Manny on this one, Ramel, but yeah, don't take this guy lightly, as we've said many times before in fights, Chris.
Well, you can't take anyone lightly these days. Everyone's got skills, otherwise they wouldn't be where they are, would they?
No.
I haven't seen much of Manny Pacquiao for a long time. And you say, what is he, 42 now?
Yeah.
I still don't think
42.
that's too bad in boxing. I think, if it's a 42-year-old in a mixed martial arts, it's a bit more of an effort. But then again, look at Randy Couture back in the day. I think, obviously, people know Manny Pacquiao more than Ugas, don't they? And they're probably more leaning towards him. We'll see what happens. Like I say, I think he would have had a harder fight against Errol Spence if Errol Spence wasn't obviously
absolutely. Errol Spence is one of the pound-for-pound best, but that would have been a hell of a test. I'm sure we'll get that, somewhere down the line. Once he's ready, as you say, Bisping, what great advice, because he knows full well, as you say.
Well, yeah, he lost his eye over it, so don't rush it.
And we were none the wiser.
Well, you didn't know. I didn't know. And he won a title with that one eye, don't forget. So maybe Errol Spence could, hopefully he doesn't do that, but he could, he could. But then you are getting hit in the eye a bit more than you are in MMA. So
I'll tell you some other news on this, in this division, Chris. They're saying about Amir Khan coming back, and Conor Ben fights the first weekend in September against Granados, which obviously got cancelled. But Eddie Hearn was on today, and a lot of people are approaching Amir Khan to promote him. And there's talk once he gets through Granados that they make that fight. I think that's a huge fight for Conor Ben, isn't it?
I think a winnable fight for Conor Ben as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got power, and we know how much Khan, sometimes didn't like people with power, did he?
No, his jaw was very acceptable to a heavy power punch.
I just wanted to tie it in because obviously they're at the same weight as Pacquiao, aren't they? So it's just to tie that in. But is there any comments, Chris?
At the moment, no. Just Romel's and Lewis Young obviously popped one in as you went off. But obviously I've read that out for Lewis Young. We had one this earlier today from Ryan Williams, who's one of our new watchers. So thank you very much, Ryan, mate. Much appreciated.
Yeah, a new viewer. Nice to have you on board again, Ryan.
Yeah, very nice comments last week as well. We do appreciate that underneath our channel in the public comments, wasn't it? Okay, we'll move on to Buatsi.
Yeah. Absolutely. 11th round KO. Could have stopped him in the 6th round, Chris. But I tell you what, he showed his resolve, Bolotniks, didn't he? I know you said it was very one-sided, which it was. But, he took some heavy shots in that 6th, didn't he? I thought it was over then. I thought it was curtains for him then. So, for him to get to the 11th round before being KO'd after being so, hammered was incredible to me. But Buatsi's got to get on to bigger and better, hasn't he, Chris, now?
Yeah, but we spoke about this, didn't we, before we went live? And I did think this was more of a cannon fodder fight for Buatsi.
Yeah.
But yeah, he needs the bigger fights now. I mean, he's proved he's a decent boxer. He needs to step up because we need to see now if he can be at the next level. Then maybe towards an elite level. But he's got to fight those bigger guys. These sort of people, it's helped to fine tune his skills, but he needs to be tested to see if he's actually got it in his locker to go further. But he's a talented boxer.
And on Talk Sport today, Spencer Oliver, he's a pro boxer for years. I like him with his punditry and his analysis. Worked with Sky for years. They got him on. He was on today. He does once a week. It must be every Thursday. Josh Buatsi was in the studio with them. And, they're looking. We've talked about Dimitri Bivol, haven't we, months and months ago coming through. A real standout, a light heavyweight. Buatsi turned around and said, I'll fight him. It's not a problem. He's not shirking nobody. I think that's a good test. Also, on a domestic level, but obviously it's a world level bout, the winner of Anthony Yard and Lyndon Arthur is being discussed as well. So 2 possible fights for Buatsi that they are working on. Yeah. Either or, Chris. Either or for us as fans, isn't it? We'll take that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he'll take that. He'll take that definitely.
He's shown he's got the power.
Yeah, I mean, he has got the power. He's also got the class and the skill. Like we were speaking before we went live, I really enjoy his combination of to body to head, or head to body as well, because he mixes that all up, and he put a lot of that on clinic on the weekend in his fight. He went to the body, went to the head quite a lot, but he's devastating to that body shots. He's really, really good at utilizing the kidney punches and stuff. And I'm impressed by him. I'm impressed when you first showed me the guy and how when I first watched him, and he's just got from strength to strength. Yeah, he does need the bigger fights now. No more.
Absolutely.
No. Let's see how good he is and see how high his ceiling can go.
Another fantastic victory for Josh Buatsi, 15-0 now, Chris. And as we say, looking forward to seeing who they plot his course with next. So yeah, plenty of options, as we said. Anthony Yard and Lyndon Arthur need to get back in for the rematch. And then it could be Dimitri Bivol. So any of them as fights next for Buatsi, I can't wait. I'm licking my lips at that one, Chris, and I'm sure you'll be looking forward to it too.
Oh yeah. They're big fights for him, and I mean, like I say, we'll see how high his ceiling can go then.
Are we going to segue into UFC?
Yeah, mate, we are. I really.
I'll let you take the lead for this.
I really like the promo picture, mate. I thought this was really elegant. What UFC have done here. It doesn't look a lot, but I really like the actual poster of it. It's different. It's not like sort of boring ones they do. It's a good fight for both Gastelum and Cannonier. They both obviously have come off losses to Robert Whittaker recently. I think Cannonier has been injured, so he hasn't fought since Whittaker. And I think that was in Abu Dhabi when he fought Whittaker. And obviously Kelvin Gastelum was a couple of months ago against Robbie Whittaker for the 5 rounds. They've both gone, the distance with Whittaker, which, there's no easy feat. I think this is next in line now after Whittaker, but also I think this could match up well for Darren Till, with Darren Till facing Derek Bronson on September the 4th. So maybe the winner of this could face the winner of Derek Bronson and Darren Till. Makes sense, okay. And then the winner of that can face maybe Izzy Whittaker. But I'm hearing things now that Whittaker and Izzy might not happen until next year now. This is what I'm hearing. I don't know if it's not been said
why?
It's come from
what do you think it might be?
I don't know. He's not obviously fought twice this year. I bet both of them fought twice this year.
Yeah.
I don't know. It came from Adesanya's coach. It came from Adesanya's coach that they're looking next year instead of this year. Maybe Dana White can intervene, and maybe we can get this maybe like December's card, the New Year's Eve card. We can get that on there. I'm not sure what the reason for it because they haven't really said. I don't know if it's fatigue, but then like I say, they fought in the first half of the year, so I don't see any injuries. I don't know. But there's a lot to go through. We've obviously got Paulo Costa versus Vittori. They're fighting.
Shocker.
October for them to. This is if Costa
middleweight. Middleweight's chocker, top end, isn't it? For like cards.
Yeah. They've got some really good fights, but they're setting everything up now, I think, and it's good to see the best fighting each other, not fighting a lower opponent.
No.
They're all sort of in around each other. But I don't know. We could see Adesanya and Whittaker. We need that fight. We need to get that out of the way, and then it can open the door for the likes of Cannonier or Gastelum maybe to get the next title shot, or Darren Till or Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson, don't forget, he's been on a tear as well. So it'd be good to see if we can get them in as well, and Stuart's frozen again. But as we carry on here, I'm interested to see how this fight will go. I think for myself, I think Cannonier is going to win this fight. He's got a bit too much for Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum's got heart, and then he's proved that in a Whittaker fight previously. And I think it'll probably go 5 rounds. I think they're both going to meet in the middle of the octagon. I don't think Gastelum can use wrestling with Cannonier. I think Cannonier is quite slick and he can move out the way of that. But Cannonier's got quite good technical strikes. I think more technical than Gastelum. And Gastelum's quite more the power puncher. He's got a lot better over the years, and he has sort of fine-tuned his technique. But I think Cannonier's just got the leg kicks, and he's got big legs as well, and the heavy leg kicks. And he's the speed where he can move from a straight punch to a hook to a overhanded right is very, very quick as a Cannonier. I'm not knocking Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum's fantastic, and he stayed in the picture and he's lost a couple of fights. He's won a couple of fights, but like I say, he's lost the last couple. So Kelvin Gastelum, it's no easy feat, but I think this is the next level for the both of them now to move on to the next level of the fights. Like I say, I think this is going to probably more be the winner of this fight versus the winner of Darren Till and Derek Brunson. This is where I feel this is going.
I'll tell you what I've learned. I'm learning from this, Chris. I don't ever do this from work. You're riding solo, mate. You're riding solo. But yeah, I'm back now. I don't know for how long, but yeah, we live and we learn. I apologise. Paying double. John and Rich need to pay you double this week.
Just took the words. I'll tell him. Yeah. Listen, you took the words out of my mouth. We do live and we learn. It is one of them. You know what I mean? I was just saying about this fight. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to go with Cannonier in this fight. I think Cannonier. I was just saying then. I think he's more the total package than Kelvin Gastelum is. I think he's a lot more powerful and he moves quicker. I think you've frozen again, haven't you? We've lost Stuart again. But yeah, I think I've got Cannonier. I think he's possibly. I don't know. I don't know about Darren Till and Derek Brunson yet. I think I need to sit back and maybe analyse a few more fights between them. But obviously, I'm being a British supporter of British fighters. We want to see Darren Till as close to a title shot, as he can possibly get to. So possibly it could be Cannonier and Darren Till. If Darren Till can beat Derek Brunson, stay fit, not get injured, maybe we could get a Cannonier, Derek Brunson later on in the year. Because if you think about it, it's only a few short weeks between Cannonier and Darren Till's fights, and Stuart's back again. Yeah, look, we got Stuart 3 times. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see where it goes. Like I say, there's a lot of fights set up. We've got Paulo Costa versus Costa. Vittori, we've got that coming up. Sorry, I'll say that again. We've got Paulo Costa versus Michael Vittori. That's coming up as well. So there's 4 fights that can, maybe see who can be the next in line. I think we're going to see Cannonier, Darren Till matched up if they both win their fights. We could easily see Gastelum versus the loser of Costa Vittori. We could see Paulo Costa maybe jump up. There's a lot of different roads we can go down with middleweight once we can get Adesanya and Whittaker, together. I don't know when that'll ever be. But there's been a few fights as well, Stuart, that have been announced. I did say last week I thought some fights would be announced for September 4th card. We've got Paddy Pimbleton. He's got his. I can't remember the guy he's fighting because I didn't really look at it and I should have really. But he's fighting on September the 4th. His fight's been announced. There's a few more Brits that are coming out as well. I think saying they're on the card, but they're waiting for things to be announced as well. So I think September 4th card, the Darren Till, Derek Brunson is going to be obviously because it was slated.
Oh my God!
Wasn't it? It's going to be quite Brit heavy or European heavy at least.
We needed that. They were doing a great job with that behind closed doors. we've seen so many of the British guys, haven't we? You know, how many times did we see Tom Aspinall fight? And I know Jack Shaw and I can't say it's Khabib's brother. I'll have to do the surname. I botched that big time. But you did say I thought it was his brother. But there you go. You corrected me. Yeah, Jack Shaw. What a test! What a test! What a test that is.
I'm interested to see how that'll go. You know, I'd like if Jack Shaw can pull a win off here. And he looked quite good on the ground as well and controlling the American. He thought he was a wrestler, you know, in general. So he did really well.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I'm not right. We won't write Jack off. I tell you.
No, definitely not. And I hope, I hope for him he can get the win. I know. Is it Mason Jones is fighting? I can't remember the Brazilian. I think it was a draw where he lost to on a unanimous decision. They're getting rematch for September 4th, and we've lost Stuart again. I'll bring up for Mr. Albert Barlow, my co-host of his show, The Art of Partying. As I showed you before at the beginning of the show, me and Albert and Don and Anthony were live streaming Dead by Daylight on Saturday. I think it's 2:00 over in the US, and it'll probably be about 8:00 over here in the UK. So I'll bring up Albert's YouTube channel link here. That would be for Saturday if you want to come along and watch us play Dead by Daylight live streaming. So you'll hear all four of us together. So come along and watch us do that on Art of Partying. We'll be back to normal of Art of Partying for our normal show in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, different this week for Art of Partying. We're just going to live stream again. And yeah, we've lost Stuart again. So as we go, we've lost Stuart again. I'm going to throw in a promo. Oh no, unless he's back. He's back. Maybe not. Maybe yeah. He's here.
Bloody hell.
So yeah, Stuart, I'll move on to the co-main. One of your boys. Let's get the picture up here. Clay Guido versus Mark Madison. Mark Madison is a Olympic silver medalist in the Beijing Olympics. Apparently, he wrestled in Greco wrestling in London 2012. He's 10-0, so he's got a lot of Olympic wrestling background. I haven't seen much of him. I know he had 2 fights in the UFC previously. Obviously, Clay Guido's a veteran. Clay Guido's fought the who's who in the division. Clay Guido. We spoke about Clay Guido last week, and Stuart did asked me the whole one sort of answer for one fighter, and I said about Clay Guido's pressure. Obviously, Clay Guido's a different fighter now. Clay Guido's a bit older. I think he's bounced around gyms. I think he was very good when he was with Jackson Winklejohn. Very good when he was in Albuquerque. I think he's moved away from that gym now. But this is a big test for Mark Madsen, and as well as for Clay Guido, I'd say. Mark Madsen, like I say, is an Olympic wrestler. He's 10-0. He's won his first 2 fights in UFC. So Clay Guido is, he's not going to be able to sort of wrestle like he has done in previous fights with certain fighters. He's taken them to ground and really put a lot of pressure on the ground and beaten them up. I think, obviously, if Mark Madsen's been a silver medalist, Olympian in Greco wrestling, it's not going to be an easy task to sort of take an Olympian down like that and bully them. But it'd be really interesting to see how this fight sort of pans out. I know Stuart's a massive Clay Guido fan. He's always been a big fan of Clay Guido. So, I know that Stuart would be for the boy. He would call for Clay Guido. They'd be backing his boy all the way through. I'd like to say I haven't seen much of Mark Madsen to sort of say that I think he's going to win. But I think with a background of having Olympic wrestling as a background and being 2-0 and he's 10-0 altogether in his MMA career. We could see maybe he's on the rise, but I didn't realise, I'm segueing more here, but I didn't realise he was 38 as well. So, he's a bit older. But again, interesting fight. They're both, I think they're both around the same area in the rankings, but I'm not sure because the rankings haven't showed up for the pair of them. So I don't know where they are in the rankings. But Clay Guido, Mark Madsen's going to be an interesting bout. And it's good to see Clay back. Clay's fought a few times this year as well. So he's keeping his run going. But this could be a tough fight for him.
He's done well in more recent times, Clay, as well, hasn't he, Chris? He's had a good run, considering he's, we're the elder statesman now. He's been around for so long. Sorry, mate, you may as well just do it on your own. You've held it. You've held it easy. You've done it with ease, mate. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, like you were telling me the background on Madison, weren't you? I didn't realise, he was at Olympic level as well, undefeated. It'd be interesting. It'd be a good tussle.
Like I was just saying to the viewers, Clay Guido likes to take people down and beat them up. Like I said, like last week, he's a lot about the pressure. Is Clay Guido? I just don't think he's going to be able to take down a simple. Well, he could, but it's going to be a very tough ask to take down a silver medalist in Greco wrestling and bully them, because that's their thing, isn't it? That's what wrestlers do from the Olympics. You see Daniel Cormier do it. Ronda Rousey with the judo did it. Sarah McMahon was a wrestling a medalist in the Olympics, in the bantamweight division for the ladies, and you see these guys are popping up. I just saying to the guys that I didn't realize that Mark Madsen was 38. And it changes the concept here, because if he was like in his early 30s, I would have thought, a bit different. But again, it's the latter stages. But he's 10-0. It's it's a good opportunity to take a name, because Clay Guido is a big name, so it's a good name to put around his belt if he can win this fight. I'm finding it hard to sort of go which way I'm going to go, because I know a lot about Clay Guido. I've seen Clay Guido for so many over the years fight some of the best of the best. I don't know enough about Mark Madsen, to say if he can win this fight. So I'm going to push it to you, because I know that you're going to go Clay Guido.
I'm going to go with, because he's one of my favourites of all time. I'm going to go Clay Guido, mate. I have to. He's been one of my favourites of all time. And not, everyone, he's never had any animosity. He's respectful. I know sometimes you like the trash talk, but he's so well respected. And, he was a Strikeforce champion. You look at his record. What is he now? 36? Is it 36 and 17? Something like that?
No, he's 36 and 20 now, Stuart.
Oh, my days. 36 and 20.
He's been around for a very long time, Clay Guido. And like I said to you, he's fought the best of the best. Everyone will always tell you, and I'll say this myself, him versus Diego Sanchez was one of the best fights in lightweight history. And, that was toppled with season 9 of Ultimate Fighter, which was UK versus USA. And that was the main event. Do you know what I mean? And that was an excellent fight. It's on YouTube. Go and watch it. Clay Guido versus Diego Sanchez. This is Diego Sanchez when he was a beast.
They went into the Hall of Fame, in the fight wing as well for that, didn't they? So just
really
incredible,
good fight, that.
Incredible. Roger is fight with Roger Huerta. As well. That was a back and forth gunslinging on the feet. What a fight! He doesn't seem to have a dull fight, does he? But I don't know. Remember he changed his style with when he was with Jackson and Winklejohn. Not with them anymore, is he?
I mentioned that before about him. He's bounced around a lot of gyms, and he did change his approach. He went for the wrestling approach when he went to Jackson and Winklejohn in Albuquerque.
It hampered him, I felt. It hampered him a little bit, I thought, at the time.
He was bounced. He used to. Clay Guido. Watching Clay Guido over the years, he was always a guy that was always on the ball of his feet, always bouncing, always moving left and right. And like I said, it was all about the pressure with Clay Guido. If Clay Guido can get you stuck against the fence, he was really good at putting the pressure on you. I just like this one's going to be very interesting, because obviously Mark Madsen's background. Could Mark Madsen take him down at will? Because he might be able to, because the pedigree of being a silver medalist in the Olympics as a wrestler. It's high elite quality, that is. So it's interesting dynamic for the fight. Like I say, I knew you were going to go with Clay Guido. I'm going to sit on the fence and just going to watch it as a viewer, me, and to see how it pans out. But if we had to press
heart overhead.
Yeah, but you get that. I do that with certain fighters that I enjoy watching. Mine is probably Conor McGregor. I don't know if you've been catching up with Conor McGregor recently. I'm segueing now, by the way. He's been right on it on Twitter the last, I think, probably 2 weeks. Daniel Cormier, I don't know if you've seen it. He's had a lot of back and forth with Daniel Cormier the last couple of weeks, calling him fat and making it. I think it was doing a picture of him crying when John Jones beat him, which is, it's one of them. And fighters train for so long. I understand when they get upset. He's gone again. But I enjoy fighters, and I understand when they get upset in a title fight, and they let their emotions out. They're a bit different to us normal people who don't train MMA or boxing or any elite sports. They go out on the shield. So I suppose when they lose such a high profile fight, they are going to get upset in the ring. And Conor McGregor was calling Daniel Cormier out on that. Where Daniel Cormier was saying, you need to stop writing shit on Twitter, because he wrote something about Khabib's dad, didn't he? I think it was something along the lines of COVID good for it. And I'm like, come on, mate. But he's had a little bash with Bisping this week as well, by the way, Stuart.
I read that. Yeah, I didn't like that. What's he doing? I just don't understand it. I don't think there was ever anything with Bisping. I thought they were always respectful.
They never No, I don't think they ever liked each other. I know they had the same management. I know they were on the same management team for a long time.
Just like,
I don't think they've ever got on really. But then you've got to understand that, like, Conor McGregor's a big personality. Michael Bisping's a big personality. So they are going to clash. You know what I mean? It's like you put me in a room with someone who's got a big personality. I'm going to clash with someone because I'm quite outspoken. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. Yeah. I just think with Conor McGregor, and it's like, just disappear for a bit. You don't need to keep yourself in the headlines. Everyone knows who you are. Everyone knows. Everyone will tune in when he fights again. But you don't need to talk about Khabib's dad and cheap shots. And then he deletes it, and they're like, just go away, enjoy your family time, recover that leg or the ankle, and get back to doing what you do. And stop pot shotting fighters that have retired. Daniel Cormier's retired. Michael Bisping's retired. Why are we pot shotting fighters that aren't?
Just a link. It's the link. In terms of DC, it's a link to Khabib, isn't it? That's where the fuels come from. But at the end of the day, Cormier will end up bloody wrestling to the ground. That'll be it. He'll absolutely annihilate him. So I don't understand that one at all. But he's just having a moment, I think, Chris.
No, I totally agree. Sorry, my camera's having a bit of a wobbles. I totally agree with you. I just think it hurts his legacy, and I know people will be like, "What?" But to carry on being an arsehole like that with other fighters, it does hurt his legacy, because it's kind of like, do you need to fight other people? Do you need to have a go at other people? That I get that, was the double champion, but you know what I mean. The only gripe with Conor McGregor is he never defended any title he ever won. In Cage Warriors, he became double champion. Never defended the title once. He obviously did it in the UFC and never defended it. I get what he was doing because it's making history, but he never defended those titles. And I think with Dustin Poirier fights, I think Dustin Poirier got the better of him. I think Dustin Poirier is just a better fighter now. I know that him and Nick Diaz have had a tit for tat as well. Apparently, someone told Nate Diaz, sorry, not Nick, that them two are going to fight each other. I didn't get that because I think Dustin Poirier should be now fighting Charles Oliveira for the title. So there's a lot of shit going on at the moment with UFC between the fighters on.
I apologise. I apologise for the issues on my end. I'm doing it from the Wi-Fi in work. Albert Barlow, I have a big personality, so you can clash with me. There you go. He's thrown down the gauntlet. Albert Barlow.
Albert, you couldn't clash from a shit that falls out my arse. Be quiet.
Right, there you go. He's been told. But, unless he comes back with a retort or something else.
Oh, probably something about...
Got anything else before we close out?
Rom's put a nice little comment in here.
I would love to see Clay win again. No boring Clay fight. Yeah, I agree. He's been fantastic, as we've alluded to.
He's been around for a long time as well.
Absolutely. He's had the length, the length of service in MMA at the top level is amazing. We'll see you this Saturday. There you go, Chris.
Listen, Albert, I love you, mate. But when we play games, I met Albert when we used to play Friday the 13th on the PlayStation, Stuart. And he used to die a lot. You had to help Albert throughout the game, sort of buddy him. But then you end up getting killed because you're helping him out. So we'll see Saturday. He's got a leg up on me though, because he's been playing the game, over in America, and I haven't played the game yet. So He'll still die more than I will.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Albert.
This has been a bite-sized edition for episode 25. We'll be back next week. There'll be more length to the show. It's just with work and commitments, isn't it, Chris, outside of this? We've had to cut it a bit short and sweet. Chris, where can the viewers find you before we go?
They can find me on Twitter at Van Hume. They can find me on Instagram at VanHume86. They can find me this weekend on that link below.
There you go.
They can find me and Albert having arguments. Who's got the bigger cheese? Playing Dead by Daylight on that link below. We'll be streaming it live, so it'll be live on that link below. So you'll find me there. And you'll find me on Powered 4 Big Fight Weekly on Facebook. You can see that going down your bottom of your screen as well. You'll find me on there. You can drop a comment in, whatever, and we can have a conversation.
Absolutely. And I have been Stuart Palmer. And this week, there's a new interview being recorded tomorrow afternoon with former WCW NWA talent Nikita Koloff, who went as the Russian Nightmare. Then he went face and he was over as a face as well, but he was hated as a heel. And he's got a church ministry group that he's had for many years, so we're going to talk about that as well. So yeah, I always liked him. I remember him more laterally when he was a face. I remember him coming through when we used to watch WCW Worldwide on ITV back in the early 90s. So yeah, Nikita Koloff. I love getting my old school guys on, so I'm looking forward to that. I apologise for the Wi-Fi issues. It was just we wanted to get a show out this week for you. So Chris held the fort brilliantly. While I was off, in, out, shake it all about.
Do the okie dokie.
And you turn around. Powered4.tv. This has been episode 25. We will see you next week under proper circumstances. No technology issues. Fingers crossed.
We'll see you next week.